Commitment of traders is one of the best tools that you can use to level up your trading game. I want to show you how you can assess it, how to analyze it, and how to place trends on the chart using this information, and how to make good amount of money with this. This is a golden video that you can actually just find out there, right? Let's just get started. Make sure that you follow me, subscribe, and follow me on our social media platform, Dan Forex. Now, you just need is nice platform, just like the way you can just see it, just like this. It's very simple. So you just go to the Google and then type CFTC. So you just have to CFTC. So what is this? This is actually a government agency platform website. So it's from United States Commodity Futures Trading Commission. So that is what CFTC stands for. So you just need to click it, the first link. So I'm going to be very precise. So after getting this, you don't need any registration. You just need to go to the market data and economics. Then you proceed all the way to commitment of traders. So this is COT. After that, you need to scroll all the way down. This time we are interested in just one thing, and it is known as, we are going to be interested on currencies. So I'm going to move to CME. So this is known as Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So this is a CME. So CME, in the simple ones, this is the genesis of the market. This is where a lot of things on the CME, we have the symbol, we have the COMEX where the commodity are traded, we have the symbol, you know, all those things, and also the forex sign. So this is where we get them, all these commodities traded, everything just traded, including the currencies. And then CME is the one that actually offers the liquidity to something like Denali. All right, so Denali gives the signals or the liquidity to the like something ECN, and then ECN gives your broker that liquidity. So your broker can get liquidity from ECN, ECN can get liquidity from Denali, Denali gets liquidity from CME, that is right here. So this is futures. So we only have futures here, and we are interested actually in futures and not options. So we are going to be concentrating on futures only here. Now we have long format and short format, so we don't need to move in a lot of details. We need precise details, and that's why we are going to move to short format. All right, so short format, that is what you're interested in. So make sure that you click short format, then we are going to get this data here. Now this, remember, this is forex, right? But you're not going to get pairs, you know, like the way you are used to USD, JPY, Canadian dollar. No, we are going to get Euro FX, GBP, pound, and then you just, you know, make your own pair, like just make your own pair. For example, I want us to get started on this. You can click Control and then G, and then I'm going to type GBP. Okay, this is British pound that we're talking about here. So you can see this is a British pound around this. All these details is for GBP that we have here. Now this is going to tell us a lot of things that we're going to learn from this video, and that is what we are going to get. Now look at this. We have, this is the date, so this is 04/07/2026. so that means this data was compiled on date 7 of April 2026. But remember, this data is released on Friday. That is after 3 days. That means this data was released on 10th of April 2026. All right, so that means this is what you get. So if, for example, you go to the calendar on the April, so if this data was released on this was actually on 7th, so 7th is here on Tuesday, so this data is actually released on every Tuesday. All right, is compiled of the data of the Tuesday. This is Tuesday, and then it was released on Friday. Do you get that one? So if it is released on Friday, it's around 3:30 East African time. That is almost 10:30 p.m. East African time. But that is actually when we're just working like on daylight time, just like that, like this time up to around November, we're going to be working on 10:30. But from November to around March is actually going to be around 11:30 East African time. All right, so that is what you just need to know there. If you move to this commitment of traders, now this is the date you need to understand that. And then here we have commercial and then we have reportable positions. So who are non-commercials and who are commercials? Let's start with the commercials. Who are these commercials? Commercials are like, institutions. These are the people who are not traders. They are actually in the market to just enter against the market. They realize, the prices of this currency is really going faster. There is anticipation for this currency to do worse, and if you keep owning this currency, our business is going to go in losses. So what we are going to do is we're going to hedge against that. We are going to buy and hold to make sure that we don't go into losses. So think of it like a business that is trying to buy currencies or anything, just as long so that they don't go into losses when these currencies actually gain or lose too much because of that anticipation. So these are not traders. These are people who are just hedging against the market. These are people who are finding better positions in order not to go losses. All right, those are commercials, right, that we really have here. Now the commercials, these are the institutions that you're talking about. We have the hedge funds, we have big institutions, speculators, that's actually known as the speculators here, because these are people who are speculating. Those people who are finding the direction, where is the money flowing. These are people who are entering into the trends because they want to make profit from that market, and this is where you want to be. You want to be with the people who are actually entering a certain position because they want to make money from that one, instead of those people who are just entering to just protect their company and money and all those sort of things, because they will just enter anywhere. But these guys will enter precisely at a good position at a specific point in order to make profit, and that is what we want to be. And that's why we'll be checking on non-commercial, right? So on non-commercial here, we have the short, long, and spreads. Of course, spreads is the prices and all that's spent. So we have long, that is actually, we can take it as buys, and the short positions, these are short positions that is sell point positions that have been placed into this market. If you look at here, this is 47, that's our point, the from non-commercial. Of course, now we take it from around this area here. This is the data that we're interested in between these two for the non-commercial, between short and long positions. So if you look on this, you realize it was 47,344 positions for long positions, and short positions was 103,608. So you need to know how institutions actually where they are. So all this data is really going to help you so much. So you can go to the Japanese here and you're going to see the same thing. You're going to see shorts here 185 and 91,000. So if you look at Japanese here, that means they had more shorts on this day. There are so many shorts. There was also many shorts here on GBP. That's the same you are getting on the euro here. You can see the shorts are actually even many here. When you move to that is euro, British pound, you get this kind of data around this area. So there are just many. You just need to type here and go to the currency that you trade. And if you are working on the GBP, you need to check the data for GBP. And if you're working for the data for the Hound, you just need to check on that. Now, this data seems to be very too much. Now let's simplify it. How can you get this in a simplified version, where you are going to get this data simplified? Because this data is released around 3:30. After 1 hour, of course, this data you can get it on bar chart. So we're going to type here bar chart. Okay, so once you type bar chart here, you go to this website, proceed all the way to the currencies. You see where we have the currencies here. Click the currencies. Click the currencies. So once you click the currencies, you see commitment. You can either click the commitment of traders, or you can just go direct to the legacy report. So that is what you need to check here. So once you move to this area here, remember we are working not on non-commercial, we are working on large speculators, which is non-commercial report. You can either go to the summary report or the detailed report. On mine, I just is on a summary report. I think it's good because it's going to summarize everything. So if you look at, for example, on Australian dollar here, so first of all, let's compare and see whether this data is correct. First of all, we were checking on the GBP. So if you check on the GBP right here, the one that we are working on, which is around here British pound, you realize the shorts were 103,698. 103,698. So the GBP is here 103,698. These are short positions, all right? So you just get this easy like that. On long positions, you get scale of GBP is right here, which is 47,344, 47,344. There was a number of short that one just entered into this market. You can see it's very accurate and very nice in this area. Now let's proceed on this. So by that just proves you that this is a legal report. You can actually confirm even with others. Now looking at this data, for example, at this area, that is where we have the net position. That is like long minus this one. So for example, this Australian dollar, if you minus 137 minus 67, of course you get 70. That means there are more position for buy orders above 7. So this is a very nice thing. So that means at that time they were buying Australian dollar so much. So this is 70, and you can see it is actually right green here. If you don't want to know where we have bigger gap, either negative or positive, you can just check net positions here. Right here, this is green. That means higher position green, buy position were mini. Like for example, if you check this is rent, that means negative 93. That is really that big. All right, now this is what you just do. You just pick two. Assume maybe we just take two, but the most important part here I'm interested in is the net position, because that is the most important part I'm going to be checking here. For example, let's start with Australian dollar. These are very big orders, 70,000 for buys. That's actually a very big order compared to the Canadian dollar here, negative 155 for sell. So that means buying Audi, selling Canadian dollar. What does that tell you? A very big bullish market that we are going to be getting. Now, remember this data is of 7th of April 2026, but it is released on the 10th of Friday. So that means on our calendar, if this data is released on April 10th, right? This is the 10th. Now we have Saturday. We need to give it time, because you can't trade at this time. You can't trade here. This is on Saturday, this is on Sunday. So we are going to check the market on 13th of April 2026. That is what we are going to get right here. So in this chart here, we are going to type for Audi. Okay, so we are checking on we are checking on these two Audi cant. All right, so we are checking on the Audi cant. So let's see on the Audi cant, what do we have? Do we have a very big buy? Do we have a big buy on 13th of April? Do we have a big... So this is 1 hour time frame. So this is the market that I'm talking about. So you see, this is, so on the 1 hour time frame, you realize this is where the market opened. Look at that. This is 12 midnight, around when the market opens on Monday. So this is the kind that you're getting. Even if the market was actually here, just look on how the market actually, we opened with a very big gap down. That's why selling on Friday is not a good idea, because you can see the market sold around this area, closed here, opened around this area. If you bought around this area on Friday, that could be a very bad thing, right? So look at this position. So that is what we have on Monday here. Look at this. So this is Monday 13th 2026, around this area. So if you buy from this area here, you need to target all the way up. At least now you find a good entry. First of all, I'm going to exit where we have this position, where we have support here. So this is going to my TP around that area there, and that's actually a very nice signal that we got from this market. Remember, you can actually get this on already on Friday, as we anticipate the market to open on Monday. Then boom, around the Sydney session before the London session, then you are on this market, and boom, you have your entries. Can we confirm something else? Because you may think that was just just look at that. I want us to check on another one here, which is around, let's check another one, which is GBP, which is actually let's see, this is Japanese yen, negative 93, and we can actually even check to negative or maybe something else. So look at this. This is positive, but not that much positive. But we have negative 93 here, which is big. So this is Euro JPY. So let's check on the Euro JPY. The Euro JPY. Let's see. Euro JPY. Okay. Euro JPY. Euro JPY on 13th of April. Let's see, around before the Sydney session, around the Sydney session there. 13th of April. Where is 13th of April? Same thing that happened to the same market. yeah, so my exit point could actually be in here. So this is the same entry that on the April market went all the way up. So that's the same thing. This is 13th of April. You can just check the date here. So that's at 13th of April. We can actually check on the something else, which is avoid these funny currencies. Let's see on Swiss franc, and actually this is, you see, this is negative 30. So if you are trending CHF USD, it must be selling at that date. So where is it? CHF. But avoid those such currencies. Avoid one with the US. You'll just need to combine it around 13th of April. This is 13th of April. The market dropped around this area, around 1 p.m. You can see how the market proceeded to do throughout the London session. The market was still buying, right? So that's why I don't want to check on the gold. All these pairs, you can just do any combination, but it must be. So if you take this one, or maybe take Canadian dollar versus Audi, right? Or maybe you take this versus this, and it's going to give you very nice result. All right, so this sometimes seems so complicated like this. I know so many people take time. You cannot actually compare this, but for you to get a summary of this data, this is what you need. You need a legacy report. This is what you need. Very quick and very easy. In case maybe you just want to download it, you can just download it, move it to that is maybe ChatGPT. If you don't know anything, this is very hard. Ask it to give you a summary of this information, which one to buy and which one to sell. It will actually give you that summary in a very nice way. But don't forget, make sure that you are on non-commercial. Make sure that you have placed summary report, and you can see you're going to get all this information in a very quick way. Combine it with, use it wisely to confirm entries. Make sure that at least don't just enter blindly. Make sure at least the market lies at least maybe to a very critical point. This is a confirmation that you need for every market that you're going to be trading into. All right, follow me on our social media platform for a nice video just like this. See you next time.